straight new wave.
CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step into a whole new era of Overwatch esports.
So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss. Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one to necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
But a nice roll through from Peyton. He's just gonna solidify everything within those.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters Tour.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
SKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Raids keep coming through. Lores are gonna be able to find these shots true.
Inu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes the Nabla immediately to back that fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2, 3, so back and forth.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another wonderful start of a CGL season. It is season 15, ladies and gentlemen. We're going over to the Diamond Division, my territory. I'm Neva, joined by the wonderful and talented Shadow Faye. And after that introduction video, how are we feeling to going into this first match of the night?
I mean, I'm always excited to see some games, especially early here in this season. I mean, you mentioned this is your territory, it's my territory as well. I mean, I don't play in CGL anymore, but when I do play ranked, I am like a mid-diamond kind of player. So yeah, I'm always excited to see what's going on in this tier. Keep it near and dear to my heart for that reason. So yeah, it'll be a good night.
Yeah, same here. And these are, you know, I'm really excited to see the Diamond Division come through. It started off a little bit rocky. You know, I saw when I last checked, it was at like 9 entrants. I was like, okay, a little tournament, a little bracket, and now it's at like 16. That's absolutely massive. We have Death Blossom and Bowling Green Falcons coming through here. BGSU. BGSU has come in a couple of times in other tournaments as well, especially in the collegiate scene. I've seen them a couple of times on different broadcasts. I'm always happy to see them back here. My dog's in the background. Hi, Toby. And we have Death Blossom as well coming in against them, and we have a set map pool for this week, of course. Oh, excuse me. And we're starting off with Lijiang Tower. Of course, the best place to start things off is a beautiful beginning story.
No, absolutely. Lijiang Tower is always a great time, especially in this tier. There's a real possibility we see some Reinhardt compositions come out, just because, again, it's a comfort hero for a lot of people, especially in Diamond. So I, for one, am really hoping to see that and not more Hazard. But, you know, maybe we'll just see more Hazard. I'm not necessarily against it either, but I'm also a Reinhardt main, so I tend to err towards that side, if it's possible.
Well, we might not even be able to see the Hazard at least a couple of times because we have hero bans for this season. Just as a reminder for anyone on how they work, we are going to be seeing hero bans coming in from each team here. Each team is allowed to ban 1 hero per map, and they cannot repeat bans on their own team, but the opposing team can ban a character that was previously banned. For example, if Death Blossom wanted to ban Widowmaker on Circuit, Bowling Green can absolutely ban Widowmaker on a different map. Okay, but Death Blossom cannot ban Widow again, no matter what. So that is kind of the disclaimer, just so we know how hero bans work. And yeah, so the hero bans might be allowing us to actually see some differentiation in the compositions because the meta has been so favored heavily towards Sojourn, towards Hazard, Kiri, Lucio, and all those characters were absolutely banned when I last casted the Master Division, North American Latin Master Division on Wednesday. So here is the ban phase, and it's up to Bowling Green to see who are they going to ban first.
You know, I saw when the game I was casting yesterday, I actually saw a Lucio ban come through early.
Me too.
And I really do think that like it's a very strong possibility we see that again because you shut down a lot of comp potential, especially on a map like Lijiang Tower. Like you almost remove Reinhardt from the equation entirely if you just get rid of that Lucio. But you can't really do the Rein Symmetra Mei cheese, if you will, if you just get rid of Lucio. So it wouldn't shock me if one of these teams decides to go with that.
Absolutely. I mean, Lucio was the only support I saw be banned on my broadcast on Wednesday, which is very it was very interesting to see just because we have Juno being so strong, Kiriko being strong, Moira starting to become a little bit of a problem herself as well. But then, typically, we are going to be seeing the reveal in a couple of seconds, and it's going to be... I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be like Hazard or something, like immediately. Oh, we did ban Juno. That's the first ban we have today from BGSU is going to be Juno. Now it's up to Death Blossom to understand, okay, they have Juno banned. What do we want to ban on our side? And we cannot, oh, I didn't say that, but we cannot repeat a ban in the same role. So Death Blossom is forced to choose between a tank or a damage band.
And I mean, yeah, really at this point, the Juno's out of the way. So more than likely we're going to be seeing like a Kiriko Lucio of some sort. And it's really just, does Death Blossom feel comfortable in the hazard mirror or not? Because I think you really want to come out strong on Lijiang Tower since it's just such a comfort map for so many people. So you really want to make sure whatever your strongest look is, you definitely come out on that first. And if that is something that is not the hazard, then you probably want to get rid of the hazard.
Yeah, I will get rid of the hazard. I will get rid of even the JQ. I would get rid of, on DPS side of things, I would get rid of the Sojourn, the Genji, Mei, in fact, if you're going for a more traditional brawl on control, especially on like Control Center, on Night Market, any of them, they're so good for that traditional brawl you were talking about earlier. But 10 seconds till we find out. Again, my final pick is going to be Sojourn. I think they're going to ban the Sojourn here. And I want to see exactly what Death Blossom has as a rebuttal for their ban here. 3, 2, 1. Oh my god. It's gonna be Tracer! Oh my god. That's evil.
Well, you know, I can't say I expected Tracer, especially not on Lijiang Tower. I feel like you would want to save Tracer for a Blizzard World or a Coliseo or a Rialto. You know, we have so many more maps where I feel like Tracer is going to get significantly more value than on Lijiang Tower. Just with it being such an in-tight, close, and condensed map, there's not quite as many angles that a Tracer is going to potentially attack you from, making it easier to deal with the Tracer. Whereas it's much harder to deal with a Tracer on a Blizzard World or a Rialto, like I was saying.
Absolutely. And, I mean, Tracer... I actually didn't expect that. I was more or less expecting a full Hazard and Sojourn ban from the get-go on both of these ends here. But I'm not mad about it. Tracer's really good on Night Market just to kind of mark that little back area where the Mega Pack is. She's really good at marking the Dojo or the White Room on Gardens. And I feel like she's the weakest maybe on Control Center, so that's A-okay. So, you know, her impact is not really going to be as felt on... Well, it's not going to be felt at all, because she's not going to be able to play. But to ban Juno, I agree. It's fine. I think Juno is not as strong as the Kiri Lucio has been. And by the way, here's the lineups. Look at the animated portraits. I was gassing this up on Wednesday. I'm going to keep gassing it up. I think this is a very nice little improvement to the character lineup sheet. But we have JML and Deadeye on the DPS, only Omega repping Tank, and Rai and Infused Onion coming in on the back line. Oh, infusing onions with what? I love pickled onions, I can't lie. That's my infusion onion.
I don't think I necessarily have an infused onion. I just kind of like caramelizing them and throwing them into like any dish that you really can put them in.
A little steak and caramel onions, I agree with you. But going over to Bowling Green, their lineup of the night here. We are going to be seeing, of course, Fresh and Mr. Joker 292 on the DPS lineup here. Fatal coming back for the Reinhardt, and Kira Wolf and Jimbo up in the backline as well. Hopefully, I think I said this last time with them. I hope not with the Mercy Lucio as the backline choice, but separately, they're beautiful characters. Together, you may not get any healing done at the end of the day, but I actually love watching Bowling Green because I've seen them for so long, and they've all improved so much in the amount of time they've been playing together. And even to pick up someone new or sort of someone as a sub, they're really seasoned. I can't lie. So I really do expect a lot from these guys. And also, side note, I'm excited to fight against them myself because I'm in the division. So, oh my god, I'm so excited. Hi guys.
They definitely have to be the favorites going in here tonight, just because again they're a veteran team at this point, been together for a really long time. I'm not sure if Death Blossom has or not. Maybe they have, but I just am not aware of it if so. So I have to say, like, BGSU definitely has that cohesion and synergy advantage off the muscle, I would think.
And I have to agree with you. I'm inclined to agree with you for the same reasons. But here we go. Death Blossom kind of sneaking around, looking at... Okay, we stalked over... Oh! Hey, remember that Torba and Sim were talking about in the back, behind broadcast? We might be seeing that if it's not just a Sim TP, but what were you switched to? There's no Tracer, you know? So we're gonna be seeing the Junkrat. Oh, okay, makes more sense. Junkrat coming in on Control Center. Let's talk about it. Makes complete sense.
Oh no, absolutely. It's never surprising at all to see just the amount of spam damage you can put in on this main line here. It makes total sense to have this. I'm more interested in this May Reaper comp.
And the Moira, which I had mentioned was starting to become more of a problem as of late, but Junker Queen give me the comp of choice for BGSU. Sending around the back end, finding Deadeye first and foremost, who's forcing that fly so early on. And now, again, only Mega, the only one able to kind of back them up away from the point. Jimbo gets exploded by JML, and that's the opening pick they might need, but Deadeye might be the reversal pick they need here from BGSU to bring it back, but only Mega just doesn't die. Finds the picks needed and the sustain in order to help out and secure the W here, and main point go over to Death Blossom first and foremost.
And if you're BGSU, you have to find a target and just run on them as fast as possible, because you just have the May Reaper. You've got in close damage. But the real problem is you have a lot of spam coming in from Death Blossom as well. That's going to be tough to deal with.
You absolutely do. And also the long range game plan of, with the May primary fire also really strong. But JML, I mean, if we're not watching those corners, if we're not watching those traps, JML is able to find so much value by just kind of picking someone like Reaper off here. Fiddle Turtle, however, finds the run back, gets JML off of the court here. The hazard downpour is, of course, ready so early on. Sikis does find a pick here. Oh, Fiddle Turtle takes care of Nax, kind of underneath everyone's nose there. Of course, everyone kind of back up. Only Mega gets pulled back by the knife from the Junker Queen. Jimbo coming through with the final kill to assist their tank. We have the May Blizzard. We have the Coalescence. What can we see here?
Oh lord, we're gonna see a big time ult dump, because you got 5 ultimates available from the side of Death Blossom, and really just, you don't want to just burn all your ultimates, but I'm thinking both teams are gonna dump all of these ultimates into this fight. It's really just a matter of who stays alive longer.
It really is. It's obviously support that is not gonna be fresh again. Called out so early. Here's the rampage. Suzu does come through from Rai. Good cooldown management. And a Coalescence from Kirov is not going to be enough to out-sustain that fight. They only used 2 ultimates there, which is really good from Death Blossom. Now they have Duplicate, they have Tire, Sound Barrier from both ends here. I'm looking to Fresh for this Blizzard.
I mean, the Blizzard was really the big play the last fight, but Fresh got picked off so early there was no chance of it coming out. And Nax still has the Sound Barrier available, so that should be a big-time counter for this Blizzard here.
Ooh, here comes the Riptide coming in from the back end around the White Room, going over to the staircase, and they are gonna be breaking it. Oh my goodness. Huge clutch coming in from Jimbo. Make sure that that was not gonna be able to find the team there whatsoever. Here comes the Blizzard from Fresh. Not really gonna serve it, find anybody, however. It does force on the Sound Barrier from Nax. That coming through, coming in with that Duplicate. Die. The Reaper ult coming in from Mr. Joker. Again, only really does not too much, able to kind of shut down Deadeye's Duplicate here. Kirov still alive, trying her best to keep this team up and active. Fade has to be defended, goes up to the high ground very smartly, uses these the healing orb, but only Mega targets her after she has wasted and utilized that Fade cooldown so early on. The fight's still going, 99 to 43%. Your overtime has been activated. 1-to-1 trade off of DPSs, and now we've traded off our tank. It's gonna be a done deal in favor of the Death Blossom.
I mean, that was just real dominance coming out from the side of Death Blossom. Just the movement of only Omega just all over the map on that hazard. It's like, if you have this hazard constantly in your face, how in the world can you think about the Junkrat spam damage that's coming at you from the other side of the map, you know? So I think this map swapping this should benefit BGSU a lot more on this map, because Junkrat is just so good on Control Center. It's a hard thing to deal with, but you don't have to deal with it for the rest of this map, most likely.
Yeah, and likely not for the rest of the series. Ideally, he's just so strong on Control Center, and trying to find a way around it, it's just difficult. But we're over here on Night Market. We're seeing the Junker Queen coming through from Bowling Green again. We have Death Blossom running the same comp, but now swapping the Echo over to JML, and Deadeye now repping the Genji. Only Mega finds Mr. Joker so early on, though. Teleportation over to the objective. Bowling Green is in a favorable position, but not for long. Not favorable numbers at all. Jimbo down for the count. Only Omega now finding their next target, while Fatal Turtle is looking for Deadeye, who is so low and then gets topped up easily by Rai and Nax. Just Fatal Turtle left to secure the win and start this second round off on a good foot.
And I mean, it's kind of the same story of what we were seeing last round. somebody from BGSU is just getting picked off like before the fight even really happens, and so you're left in a 5v4, and you're rarely ever going to win that if you're BGSU. Maybe you'll sometimes win it, but more often than not, you're losing a fight down a player. This is what you need, though. That is nice, though.
Oh, massive pick, but again, gets called out. Teleportation looked like not everyone was really there or ready for it. They do put the point back over to BGSU, right underneath the Busson's noses, and if they can kind of stall enough to get a good 25%, I would take that any day of the week. Look at that, I 57% to that Dragon Blade. Jimbo nowhere close to getting a sound barrier time from being picked off constantly. High charge Sim not gonna do too much to the Hazard, and we all knew that Hazard just doesn't die whatsoever. Jimbo finds a target onto Kira. Wolf couldn't survive long enough. However, we're trading things off. A lot of back and forth. Nax the one that does go down. We're trying to care for our Fiddle Turtle, and Rise said, enough. Continue rush down the main way, forces the entirety of BGSU back in this little room, and can't even get the wall up to save Fatal in time.
I mean, that was pure chaos, but if you're BGSU, you're at least happy that you got the downpour and the Kitsune rush out. But now, your big problem now is just the sound barrier. You need to get the sound barrier out of Nax as soon as possible if you're BGSU, because you just don't need it countering both your Rampage and your Blizzard. You need to make sure you just do not stack those ultimates and just trade one.
Oh. Well, they can just chill. We have returning sound barriers, a Rampage to boot. Suzu does expend it, but Nax is still antinated and bleeding. Not for very long. Dragon Blade could go out by Deadeye when they get completely recharged up here, but I think I'm gonna say if we're not gonna fight as fresh. Once again, Blizzard in hand gets put down to the ground, and the rest of BGSU kind of falls right in line with their Mei. On this refight, they're gonna have Cole and Blizzard, but it has to come out.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be tough, too, because Deadeye does have this blade available. You don't really have anything to avoid it other than just kind of throwing a Blizzard at your feet, you know, trading that out, if you will. But beyond that, you're just kind of stuck in a tough spot.
Dragon Blade up the top, Blizzard as a response. Unfortunately, it's going to be Jimbo getting the brunt of Deadeye's damage. Blizzard doesn't really find much. In fact, it just kind of clears the open way for BGSU to find the point back in their favor. And we died! Fresh once again down for the count. Downpour also coming through on the entirety of the objective. And to clean up from Death Blossom, as if they had never lost a point in the first place.
And I mean, yeah, that's going to be map number 1. Death Blossom taking it in, quite frankly, a dominant fashion. They look like they're really comfortable on this Hazard comp. And they prefer the Kiriko Lucio, so I mean, that makes perfect sense to me why they would have banned Juno there. You know, they weren't going to use the Juno Lucio. They were always going to go Kiriko Lucio.
Yeah, because that's another another composition for the backline that can be run. And most Flex supports were playing Kiriko before Juno anyways, because she was so strong before her. So the comfort level is there. The synergy is there with Kira Lucio. I mean, they were the backline until Juno came out for a while. So it makes complete sense why they're like, oh, Juno? Okay, Kira Lucio, that's completely fine. And the Hazard pick, I mean, the Hazard in general from Death Blossom was very strong. Bro was not dying. Bro was not going down at all unless the rest of his team went down. And that also, I think, is super important to note, is the survivability of Death Blossom, whereas Bowling Green, BGSU, they were struggling a little bit to not get picked off, especially Fresh. You know, that was really big. Lots of times we died early on with that Blizzard in hand. So maybe a little bit more of just maybe some faster rotations, maybe just needing to bend those corners a little bit better. That needs to be done as we move over to our map 2 to meet Blizzard World.
Yeah, it is going to be Blizzard World, and I really do think going into the ban phase here, this is the map where you probably get rid of the Hazard. You know, Hazard is like it's like Junker Queen, but can jump around the map in a dive sense, right? All the other abilities are kind of similar to a Junker Queen in that sense, but I think you get rid of the Hazard here, and then you try and air more towards a dive composition. But maybe that isn't what BGSU wants to do, so maybe they don't ban the Hazard. But I think it's tough to not go for the Hazard after the dominant performance we just saw on map 1.
And I feel like you also have to think about the maps coming up. Like, I know that Rialto is our map 5, but what are the odds that we go down that map 5 and we need the Hazard to be banned there instead of the Blizzard World? And then you have to look at yourself and be like, are we confident enough and maybe a Winston dive to go to Blizzard World and fight it out and win against Death Blossom to go over to map 5, right? Like, that's a small tweaking questions you have to ask when hero bans are introduced in a competitive series like this. So, speaking of hero bans, we're going to be looking over to the possibilities of what can happen on Blizzard World. Like you said, it could be Hazard, but it could also be Winston. It could be the backline of Ana, who is so strong in that death composition on this map. You know, we could see Lucio get banned. That'd be unfortunate because I love Lucio, and I think Lucio does no wrong. A big Lucio apologist over here. I think he does no wrong. I think he is completely fine. What happened? Oh yeah, so when it comes to bans here, it can go any way, shape, or form. And you can also find ways to just swap the comp up as well during specific phases of Blizzard World. Like, you know how first and second are pretty good for dive, but then third is like so enclosed. You can definitely like swap over to like a brawl and go back to like the JQ Rush Brawl if you get to that third objective. So I'm really looking forward to BGSU's bans here because they do get first pick on bans as the loser.
I wouldn't be surprised if they even decided to go with an Echo or a Genji. You know, if they don't want to go the route of the Hazard, they're like, maybe Death Blossom doesn't play Hazard here. Maybe they go for the more traditional Winston dive, and we feel confident in trying to deal with that. We just need this Echo and or Genji out of the picture because you can't get rid of Tracer. You got rid of Tracer map 1, so that's not an option anymore. I think that was BGSU that banned Tracer, or was that Death Blossom?
It was Death Blossom. So BGSU were the ones who banned Juno first and foremost. So BGSU do have Tracer open. They just cannot repeat ban. Oh, me when I lie, they did ban Tracer. You're actually so right, bestie. So looks like Juno, they can ban Juno if they really wanted to, but now I see the whole roster. Sometimes I forget who's in this game. Sometimes, if I'm being so serious. So looking at the whole roster, we can see a couple of good candidates for bans. Hazard, of course, whatever. We've been knew Hazard should be banned. Ball, I think, is a sleeper pick on Blizzard World. Only because I have been decimated by a lot of wrecking balls, really good wrecking balls on Blizzard World because there's so many good flank areas to rock around. The same areas that Tracer would kind of hover around. So I think Ball also is low-key an underrated pick here as a ban if they kind of know the player matchup, which I also think is another layer to the hero bans is the player matchup.
All right, and the Hazard comes through. That's exactly what we expected to see. No surprises there. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Hazard had no deaths for the side of Death Blossom on that first map. It really felt like they came close to it, if not exactly 0 deaths.
Yeah.
So now for Death Blossom, it's just like, okay, what do you not want to see here? And realistically for them, I would think you probably ban like Ana here and you just continue to force the Kiriko Lucio since you were just so strong at it on map number 1.
Yeah. Just use the Kiriko Lucio here. I think on both backlines I can absolutely use it. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, if I was in this position, well, I will be. But if I was in this position, it's very difficult unless you don't, like, especially if you don't know the teams and you don't really know what they are comfortable running, and you can't base everything off of just control. Because there were seldom any swaps on Death Blossom except for, actually, there was only one true swap, and it was Junkrat to Genji. Because they had Echo both maps, it was just played by different people. So it looks like we're banning. Ooh, wait, that's interesting. Sombra? Okay.
It's probably just an instance of I'd rather not play against that hero if I had the choice. So
that's so real.
We're just gonna not go against this.
Yeah, no, that's so. I think that's also the beautiful thing about hero bans. Like, I don't really feel like playing against Hanzo today, and it's like, okay, no one here plays Hanzo, but okay, Festy. I think that's the hilarious part of it all. But also, we're having a Sombra ban and a Hazard ban here for this Blizzard Road, which is actually pretty interesting. So I'm actually mostly expecting both teams to go some sort of dive, whether it's Diva dive or Winston dive, with either a full-in backline of Kira Lucio or a more slow, methodical backline of the Ana Brig. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Maybe Juno coming back in would be kind of cool too. And any variation of that, I am tuned in. I'm like, oh, what are we cooking over here?
No, I mean, I absolutely expect to see the full-on Winston dive. Just get the Ana Brig out there. Maybe like some Tracer Echo. Depends on what the players are feeling good at. But we saw from Death Blossom both players play Echo. I'm sure somebody on that side plays Tracer. I'd be surprised if somebody didn't. So that's the comp I would expect to see going into this map, at least from Death Blossom. I'm not too sure with BGSU. They might still try and go for their Junker Queen rush and just like run it towards point as fast as possible. We'll just have to see what they decide to do.
I also want to mention there is a sub coming in for BGSU. We're going to be putting in chicken for Jimbo. Barbecue chicken for Jimbo here. And no sauce and Death Blossom keeping the same people, Rai, Nax, Only Omega, Deadeye, and JML coming in. So, yeah, I want to see what BBQ Chicken does bring to the table. Kira Wolf opting to go over to the Mercy here. Her namesake, her favorite character. She can actually play it on Blizzard World. And BBQ Chicken goes over to the Kiriko. And so far, Death Blossom, we have the ball. Oh my god, wait, I was right. Oh my god, they have ball. Wait, we're cooking. We're cooking. This comp is cooking.
They're running the Krusty comp from earlier today, no WCS. I can't believe this is what people are running. But this is what we've been seeing. And from BGSU, they're going for the Pocket Ash with the Genji and the Winston dive. But you're going to have a hard time really getting on a target here because there's just so much you got to go through to get to any one of these characters.
I mean, you're going to have a hard time getting on any targets because they're all in the back.
Yeah.
Like, they're all behind the house. No one's been on that high ground, so it needs it to be extremely free. Here comes a dive coming from the ornament of Only Omega. Aims for a Kira Wolf, but unfortunately not able to find the kill needed there. Now the rest of BGS who's able to kind of fall in towards the left side of the objective and look for the high ground. Fatal Turtle nearly whiffs it a little bit with the Winston, but turret's starting to go away. The pocketed Ash here is going to be really big from both Kira Wolf and Fresh. Especially when Only Omega is so low, 500 HP after the shields were online. And we also have the Torb turret on the objective. There's a lot of turrets going on here. This is a turret comp, actually. I just realized this. Ooh, that's even worse.
I mean, you know, Genji Shuriken can only do so much damage to a turret. It takes a long time to take a Torb turret down with Genji. It's a tough ask. I mean, especially with where that turret is, you're just going to get fired upon from the high ground sitting behind point while you're still trying to kill a turret. Like, it's a tough spot.
It's not even just that. There's 3 turrets. There's the Yari turret, there's the Sim turret, and there's also the Torb turret. Yari turret, however, Yari herself going down. JML getting picked off by Fresh early onwards and not getting pressure put onto him. Here comes the Valk from Kira Wolf, putting all the momentum, all the pressure onto Fresh to perform extremely well here. They're going so low, has to go to the objective, and gets peeled back. Only Mega now having to force his shield out so early on. We still have Rai up on this high ground, and the res comes through right in front of everyone's face. Bob is also out on the front of the objective, forcing the Sim walls to come through. JML gets not 1 but 2 picks all by himself, and that is somehow, some way, Death Blossom surviving a couple of really big ultimates from BGSU, including the Bob, including the Valkyrie.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to be at if you're BGSU. That was a really good chance for you to take that point, but Fresh was just getting harassed so hard by Omega that entire fight that even though you got that numbers advantage, Fresh wasn't able to push up with you, and so you could not clear that high ground off with your Winston, and that's kind of what needed to happen. And now you're seeing Fatal just swap over to the Reinhardt and just say, all right, fine, we're just going to all walk up the stairs together and we're going to clear all these people off this back high ground.
And they also have to rush as well, so they can go up to that high ground and then rush from the top down towards the objective. That'd be great, and even better when there's not a pesky ball in your way. And Immortality Field is also down, being fused so early on. One core around the objective where the lamp is, but no one there touched the point, forgetting about the importance of Overwatch 2. That I does find one with the one core, that being BBQ Chicken, but BGSU has won the battle and they're facing off to go to war.
I'm really excited to see the Reinhardt pick come out, honestly. I mean, I didn't even think about the fact that they almost had the point captured, so all they had to do was stand there and force someone to drop, and then nobody did. So that was actually a really smart play. And you managed to hold on to all those ultimates that you have, so now you got double support ults. And you're going to be going up against a captive Sun, though, so that's your only real big concern here. But with that Reinhardt shield being so big and beefy, like, it's going to be tough for JML to land that ultimate nicely.
Yeah, for sure. And as well as Hero having the Valkyrie and also having a res in her back pocket, that should also be helping out with that Captain Sun you talked about earlier. We're not going to be expended early first, though, on the high ground, forcing everyone from BGSU to go back to the objective itself and clearing that, clearing that high ground space. Really good aim from Riot. Almost gets Fresh out of the air there, but unable to really finish it out strongly. Captain Sun still ready to be utilized, but Dynamite burning onto JML. And no one's going to the high ground. I mean, they're forcing the cart from the low ground, and you know what? It's working. Just isn't coming down to really meet them. They're kind of just out-angling them on the high ground, but not for very long, as it looks like Fiddle Turtle looking like they're going around to their own adventure here.
And I mean, the thing that's happening is really tough right now is Reinhardt's really good at existing on point, and Ball is not very good at existing on point.
Oh, here's that one, and here's that orbital, that Captain Sun. The ball, the Bob, excuse me, does come through. Captain Sun explodes. Mr. Joker, Kira Wolf, a victim of JML's beautiful aim. And it's just a really fatal Turtle coming in. Can they get the kill on Torb? They absolutely do. Is Deadeye down for the count? Mine's ready for only Mega, but it really is just trying to make sure that my tank does get out. My Kiriko is able to survive a little bit longer too with Suzu. And now we can low-key put these mines out right in the alleyway, and no one can walk through there. No, we're gonna back up, save for another day. That's completely okay. A minute for 5 o'clock left.
Plenty of time still for BGSU. They got the Death Blossom, they got the Kitsune, they're almost up to another Valkyrie. And I mean, you kind of just need to get somebody with this Death Blossom. Doesn't really matter who.
Fury Rush coming in from Barbecue Chicken down the high ground or down to the objective itself. That's 2 down. Immortality Field also not even affected because Rai's not even there anymore. Max not there either. That's one less turret user to be weary of. Still having Deadeye here. Gotta be really scared. Gotta be really careful with how they approach, how they're able to spend this high ground very easily. And the objective is now pushing casually with 2 people on it. Death Blossom also ready for Mr. Joker against Death Blossom. Oh, they cap here. Oh my god, they cap.
I mean, I gotta shout out Turtle for pinning a Wrecking Ball off the map. That's a really great play, considering Wrecking Ball usually has a lot of good ways to get back onto the map. So that's a fantastic play. And you don't really burn, you burn both of your support ultimates, but they're not really defensive ultimates, so you're not really too keen on holding on to them as long as you would like a sound barrier or, you know, just a rally, you know, for that right moment. But now, Fatal Turtle Shatter's got to be big time here, and we're seeing the Orisa come out. So the fun stops here for the Rhine lane. The Orisa is out.
Yeah, we have chosen the Battle Horse, and that's okay. Only Mega and Deadeye and Nax all choosing to go a completely different composition here. We have the Switch and Flows offerings. We have the main sustain that helps sustain the Orisa and put pressure on Reinhardt, which they absolutely do. Filter kind of walking in and falling right over, and the rest of the team of BGSU is absolutely gonna be falling, coming right through with their tank here. And thankfully we don't get too much of a stagger. It's just Fresh coming back from the spawn room, and we gotta be really careful because that fall off still has not been changed. There is none on Orisa from that long angle. Nax finds a hit on Fresh, however. That's massive, but the res makes it all for naught.
And I mean, right here, Turtle's got to get a big time shatter off onto somebody and just get a couple of kills. That's really your only play you have right now, besides the Death Blossom.
Oh, Amplification Matrix you expended around the corner here, forces BGSU to back up, respect the window, and come back when it's completely gone. A minute left here, less than even. Shadow ready, Shroud ready, Portal's ready. Overclock being expended from Nax. Here comes the Continue Rush, and Fatal Turtle, unfortunately, a bit of circumstances, gets hit by Nax on that high ground, on the low ground, excuse me. And now here comes the big old Shadow Mentality Field, comes in the nick of time, but it's not going to be enough for Fatal Turtle to actually get the kill needed. But on Orisa, any day of the week, Turtle is there, getting the kills, getting the picks, and saving the day against JML.
Yeah, the Shatter may not have been able to get any kills there, but, you know, the res definitely did. Nax is just dominating on this Sojourn right now, winning this battle against Fresh more often than not. But we have the res available, so that is good for the side of BGSU.
And just like that, another time where Nax was kind of just able to pick off Fresh early on. Barbecue Chicken also not... Oh, that's a combination. That is the combo I have ever seen. Terror Surge into Blizzard, or at least Blizzard into Terror Surge. Either way, that's the way that Bowling Green is stopped in their tracks, halted by Death Blossom. Now we gotta take it and do the attack phase.
Yeah, still a really good push for the side of BGSU. It looked like they were going to get held a few different times on that map, so even making it all the way to third point, really solid, and it's holdable as well. You know, if you want to come out on the Rhine again, I feel like the Rhine on defense might help you out a little bit more, but if you know that Death Blossom is going to be going for that Orisa again, maybe you walk out on the Sigma, you know, something that can more readily poke with the Orisa and not just kind of fall over like Reinhardt does to Orisa these days, you know? So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely holdable for Bowling Green. I want to see what they're gonna run. Wait, I like this. Big fan of the Sigma, big fan of the Cass and Sojourn. Huge fan of the Ana, as always. Hello. But Kirov, again, on that Mercy, and the Reses have been impactful. The Reses have been so good. So I'm also a big fan of the Mercy with the Ana. Honestly, I think Mercy and Ana is really a really annoying backline. Especially if she uses her res on the Ana, and then you have all that sustain coming back, get the Anthony coming back. It's just all really good stuff. But Death Blossom going over to a little bit of a non-traditional Winston composition. You see the Tracer, you see the Winston. You have Rai swapping over to the Zenyatta next, now falling in line with what I was expecting, which was the Genji coming back. J-Mal now on the Lucio. Okay, me when I lie. Stop swapping! Here we go. Kiri Lucio, Sojourn. This is what I want. Nax versus Fresh all day of the week.
Yeah, this definitely makes sense coming in. You got to be careful if you're the backline of BGSU. Just make sure you're not getting poked out by these dive characters, because that is, I would say, one of the weaknesses of running the Ana Mercy. You don't have that Brigitte back there to sort of deter the dive.
Did I first retreat getting the mini pack over underneath Snacks Ramas? Fresh force it back out with the slide early on from the high ground, going to the low ground, going to the corner, peeps and dies to Rai. And like you said, only Omega kind of clear to get, take care of BBQ Chicken on that Ana very easily without a Brig kind of negating that approach from him. A good attempt from Bowling Green. I think second point would be better for this kind of composition, while Death Blossom starts to set up on the second point.
I honestly think BGSU, if they're gonna just stand on the high ground like that, you may as well run like a Diva and a Reaper at the same time and just try and blow up the Winston as fast as possible. Just try and force some cooldowns out or something. Because what happened in that last fight was everybody just kind of like ignored the fact that the Winston went onto the high ground, and the Winston just kind of slowly tased their Ana to death, and that is not a recipe for success.
And like you said, Winston's gonna just explode. Wow, good cleaning, good finishing shot from Fresh there. Omega kind of taking the brunt of the missile damage from Fatal Turtle and on this Diva, which I'm a really big fan of. You have the Tracer, you have the Soldier, and they kind of DM away from your team when they're in a bad spot. You can negate the dive really easily. I'm a big fan of Fatal Turtle's Diva pick right now.
No, most definitely. You're able to blow up even the Winston bubble if you just want to get that out of the way so your Soldier has an easy shot. And I mean, look at how low Omega is already, but Fresh taking down nice pick.
Yeah, we also have the Kasumi Rush here, and unfortunately Ryan not able to finish off with the Joker. Has to Suzu back, however, because the reduced cooldown given in that Kasumi Rush. Valk forced to be utilized by Kira Wolf and helps Fresh by taking care of Nax on this defense side of things. Nicely done, and only Omega was not going to get out of there scot-free.
Ooh, Fresh continuing to get these kills on this Sojourn, doing such a great job so far. And you managed to kite out of the Kitsune Rush. You trade your Valkyrie for it, but in exchange, now both teams are sitting at 4 ultimates. And this is going to be the fight that you have to win this fight if you're GSU. Because you win this fight, you steamrolled into another fight win, and that's a good way to start.
That's a wonderful way to start, and it forces the Sound Barrier to be used by J-Mo preemptively. The Bulls does come out, gets 2! Being BBQ to get him to Joker, J-Mo finds a pick on Fresh. And that's the opening I was looking for from Death Blossom. Only expending really 2 ultimates there. Oh, 1 closes the cooldown. They're gonna probably let the remake. Yeah, they're not gonna use the bomb. Excuse me. It's gonna let them die out. And I think they're gonna have a good retouch here before they cap with 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, there should definitely be a retouch here from BGSU, and this is where you should definitely ult dump this fight. Try and hold this as hard as you can. Please, somebody touch.
Overclock ready and dumped out by Nax here. Always on the high ground, tries to find the pick. You have the Minna boost going on to Fatal Turtle, which is also a big problem for Nax. Forced to retreat and then comes back. Maybe hoping to find Fresh once more. Mr. Joker not even in the fight anymore. No ultimate is being expended by BGSU once again. Fresh still has the overclock right in the back pocket. Filter gonna be opting to use the Diva Bomb around the objective. And here's the overclock from Fresh. Now trying to find their mirror match here. Doesn't really find much, but the anti-nade on only Omega should be able to kind of scare him away from the objective for a little bit longer. Now can we find another, maybe another Valkyrie from Hero Wolf as is now ready to be activated. The fight starts to calm down a tiny bit. A little bit seeing Death Blossom back up a little bit away from Fatal Turtle, who's diving in and trying to put pressure on the backline of Rai and, of course, JML. Big pulse comes through from Deadeye once again.
I mean, Deadeye just being absolutely dominant with these pulse bombs right now. You demech the Diva, and that's kind of should be a free point cap, I would think, unless this Deadeye's good.
Deadeye coming through. It does find JML. That's huge. This Joker is so low, however, and Deadeye couldn't finish it. The Valkyrie from Kirill was absolutely much needed, and we get the res of on our fellow Ana. Somehow, BGSU shaves off almost 2 minutes in that fight.
And this is the most ideal circumstance you can be in right now if you're BGSU. Both support ultimates were just used from Death Blossom. The pulse bomb's getting close, so you need to avoid that if you're barbecue chicken in particular. That's the person that cannot go down to this upcoming pulse bomb. You need this nano available to you for this fight, just to try and wipe somebody quickly.
Oh, that's not good. Totoro bullied on the high ground so early on. We trade off for Deadeye, who actually gets killed by the Baby Diva. Nax going over to the Genji, really low already. Nantine being defended by only Mega, and unfortunately, Baby Chicken is so close to that Nano, but not quite having it in that moment. Now it's just up to the rest of Death Blossom to clean up, you know, everyone else, and they do.
Well, that's definitely an anticlimactic moment to the fight for point number 2 right there. There wasn't even really a fight for it. Just Fatal Turtle getting picked off super early on that Diva, and then that's it. Just a walk down for Death Blossom, if you will. And now they're sitting with a Pulse Bomb and a Primal available to them, whereas BGSU, all they have is the Nano. They're getting close on the overclock, but really Nano's the only thing that's probably going to be used in this next fight.
And it's probably going to be used on Fatal Turtle, you know, for the extra sustain, for the extra kill power with the missiles onto Winston. That's completely okay, and also to kind of DM the incoming, oh, Miwa alive? Okay, Nax not even a factor anymore in this fight here. Fatal Turtle super low, forces of Heroes can really focus him with the healing beam. Now, rest of the Blossom has to force to back up, wait for the Genji to come back, and also at the same time, start to build up some of these ultimates. JML getting super close at Soundbear is also really solid in the event of the Deadeye or Overclock from Fresh.
No, absolutely. I mean, you're looking at basically 5 ults for Death Blossom, 5 ults for BGSU. Last time this happened, BGSU took the fight. Let's see if that's the way it's going to go this time.
Okay, Shimmer's going to be defended first, and the Suzu early on. Pulse Bomb looking for the backline. Doesn't really find much. No, it doesn't. Neither the bomb. 2 bombs going off, and nothing to show for it. Here comes the Valkyrie, and the Dragon Blade, and the Primal, and the Sound Barrier. All we have left is that Nano, which is definitely going to be used onto Fatal Turtle to burn down this Winston. Mama, get you behind you. JML so low, gets pulled out and taken down by Fatal Turtle, who is still alive, being pocketed by Kirov as long as humanly possible, while we wait for the rest of the team to come back with Deadeye and with Overclock. Speaking of, should be able to pop Deadeye almost. Oh no, we don't have to. Good stuff from Deadeye. We see the Overclock instead going to be used, but we see no. What do you mean we stand on the point? What do you mean we stand on the point? Oh my goodness.
Oh, I believe that is, I think that's 2 C9s we saw on this map. I could be mistaken, but I believe there was one on first point as well. This was actually a crazy sequence. The fact that Joker stayed alive through this entire thing was crazy. I cannot believe this cast lived through the amount of things that they lived through. I mean, still a great map from BGSU. That was incredibly winnable. We were down in like last fight territory right there, and it was very winnable for BGSU. So yeah, I mean, don't feel too down about it, but that has to be frustrating to not get that point touch right there.
And that's okay. We move next. It's the first week of the bracket, so you know what? Everything is a little bit fake. It's okay. We here to have fun. It's here. You know, it is what it is and ain't what it ain't. Blizzard World's a Mickey Mouse map anyway, right? That's my John. That's my excuse if I was there. But in the meantime, we are going to be seeing us go to a very quick break between this map and next. But don't go anywhere because Call is coming right at you after this quick break. After a nail biter game 2 on Blizzard World, and arguably heart-dropping, depressing, heartbreaking even, we are seeing Death Blossom at a 2-0 lead so far on match point. BGSU so close every single time, but hopefully the luck changes and turns around as we move on to Colosseo for our third map.
And this one, I think this map should favor the side of BGSU a little bit more because they seem to really want to play these brawl-heavy compositions a lot. And, Colosseo is a more brawl-centric style map. So hopefully that'll lean more in their favor. They can run that Rhine that we saw them run a little bit. Maybe they go for the Sigma again. That works on this map as well. Colosseo is a very flexible map in that regard.
I agree, and that's given the idea that they don't ban the brawl heroes. We saw the Reinhardt come through, and the Reinhardt had so much advantage, so much success on a map like Blizzard World of all places, right? For BGSU. So we gotta think about, okay, will Death Blossom even allow them to run a brawl? Whether they ban the Queen or the Reinhardt, those are two really big ones. I think Queen a little bit would be more impactful on Colosseo, but either one would kind of put a little bit of hurt in BGSU's backside. However, it is BGSU picking first, as they are this loser's pick first, so they have a lot of options against of course, against Death Blossom.
BGSU could go for a protect ban as well if they really want to save their brawl tank in particular, because that's kind of like the linchpin of the comp. You could ban a Roadhog just to protect the tank role as a whole. Or you could go for a hero that's been, a kind of a thorn in your side for a majority of this series. I feel like Genji has been really tough for them so far, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that go either.
I've seen enough. Nerf Genji. Oh, no, my baby girl. They banned her. They banned Kiriko.
That's another one that's been a thorn in their side for this entire series. I haven't seen them play Kiriko at all, but Kiriko has come out every single game for Death Blossom, so that's something to try and cripple their composition a little bit, so I definitely respect the pick.
And their Kiriko is very good as well on the side of Death Blossom. Really impactful Continue Rushes, really impactful Suzus. So I'm not surprised whatsoever. And I feel like with the Kiriko ban, they want to run the Jungle Queen, so the only kind of defensive cooldown or ult they have is just a sound barrier if Death Blossom were to go a Lucio, even without Kiriko. But that also just opens up so much more questions. What are they going to ban? Now they have no Kiriko, what's the backline gonna look like? Because like you said, they've been playing the Kiri Lucio the entire time so far across both control rounds, all throughout Blizzard World. So I really do want to see what's the mix up, what's the vibe.
Well, you already said it a minute ago. What's the only thing you can't really deny anymore? It's antis. So I see no reason why you wouldn't ban Junker Queen here if you're Death Blossom. Just get rid of that pick. You've seen the side of BGSU likes to play the Junker Queen. They like to play the Junker Queen with the Moira Lucio in particular, so why not get rid of that pick? And then you don't even have to worry about the Rampage coming through from the Queen.
Exactly. That was that was just my initial thoughts. I was like, okay, they're going to be running Junker Queen, so they're like, surely we ban Junker Queen. Oh, Winton? Why we ban? What did Winston do? What did Winston do to you? Yo. Wait. I think it's low-key a troll. I think, okay. It depends on if they go Junker Queen, which I am 1,000% confident they will. The Winston ban is so mind-boggling.
I think it's just a hero they don't think they're gonna play. But then you could have banned Roadhog, So I don't know. I'm not sure what the idea here is with the Winston pick. I think like you said, they're just trolling potentially. Or maybe they just don't want to see Winston on a Brig, I mean, you could see that here on this map, but I would imagine both teams are going to err more towards the Brawly style on Colosseo. That's usually what we tend to see, at least.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to say they're trolling with the pick. It's just, I want to be in their voice chat. That's what I mean. I want to be in there, and I want to know that what their game plan is. Because I'm genuinely so intrigued. The Kiriko I understand because of how impactful she's been on the side of Death Blossom, but... Map 3 going to ban the Winston and the Kiriko. So there's no all-in dive at that point. You're kind of forced for a more slow-paced dive with the Ana Brig, with even a Juno now coming back to the fray. Looks like we're keeping everyone still in on both ends here. No swaps needed. Barbecue Chicken gonna be playing here for his map 3, and I really do think it could be a changing point for BGSU for sure. I think they are definitely more suited to a more push playstyle, more push map like this. So as the Garrus was loaded in, I'm excited to see exactly what Fatal Terror is going to be running, because I think we're going to be seeing the Ryan and JQ. And only Mega might go the Orisa again. No bans, and they know that, at least in a brawl setting, she's pretty good into both.
I think there's a possibility that we see the Hazard again as well, because only Omega was absolutely dominant on that character. And I think the slash of the Hazard, the mobility of the Hazard, just allows you to kind of jump all around those two brawl tanks and kind of, for the most part, kind of ignore them until they're the only ones left, and then you can just kind of wipe them after that.
Ooh. Ramatra? Oh my god, wait. This is cute. Okay. Only Mega going over to the Ramatra, Rai and Bap. I'm sorry, Rai and Bap. Hello, Rai and Nax on the Juno and Bap. Kira Wolf and BBQ Chicken on the Mercy Ana. This is interesting. We have JML on the Widowmaker, so Fresh has to kind of watch their head a little bit here.
This is definitely a fascinating pick. I don't like Ramatra into Orisa specifically. I feel like it's too difficult to get past the Orisa and get to the back line playing after.
Try to go for a really quick jump shot on Mr. Joker, but nearly whiffed it. Now just kind of forced to look over at Phil Turtle's big ol' head hitbox and find some sort of way to whittle this Orisa's health pool down. The ball already going in favor of the Blossom just by a little bit there, but now again, they had to find someone to go on to, and they really had to utilize the shift from Bab. Now JML once again waiting for the perfect opportunity for someone to peek their head in. Oh, but now they get speared away from the fight. 78 HP on our hero in the back line. Only Omega still fighting for their lives in the front, and there it is. BBQ Chicken is going to be the victim, the opening pick for Death Blossom to go in and just run rampant on Fiddle Turtle.
I mean, it looks like that's kind of the way that the comp's going to play here, is they're just going to kind of sit around and poke in mid until JML manages to get a pick, and then that's when they're going to all in against the opposing team. And it's working so far, that's for sure.
Uh-oh. No, they don't live that. That's a really big stagger coming in on BGSU. I think I wait for both Chaos and Ana, who are two really slow characters in the roster. So it's just a long time for that for the re-engage of the next fight. Filter, however, oh my god, everyone's at like 66% to their ultimates. But however, Pulse and the site is ready for the side of Death Blossom. Pulse can be expended early on onto Mr. Joker. Couldn't roll out of there in time, I'm assuming, but the res does come through in the nick of time. So just like that, the fight is back in a 5v5 scenario. Then I put a lot of pressure onto the back of Bit of Turtle, who is trying to help Mr. Joker as much as they can, but just kind of gets pummeled to death by only Omega.
And yeah, I mean, that's just good play by your Ramatra there. Just managing to get in on this back line. I mean, you have the Annihilation. You could potentially use it, but it doesn't look like you're going to need it. Your DPS are cleaning up right now. JML and Deadeye.
That hits? Wait. My boy was behind the wall. What do you mean that hits? Aw. That's really bad to lose your BAP because of how far the spawn is, unfortunately. But we're going over to the Junker Queen now. And I'm really, again, really big fan. There's no way that Blossom can really anticipate the Rampage. And the Rampage into the Juno also is a really good option.
No, absolutely. With no Suzu being available, you have a lot to work with. And here comes the ults right now, though.
Comes the Orbital Ray, tries to get the torpedoes as well, and here comes the Annihilation, so low on health, still living somehow, some way. We are seeing a little bit of a trade-off here. Ana for the Baptiste. Fatal Turtle super far into the back, into the front line, may I say. Fresh getting the pick onto JML. Finally, someone looking at the Widowmaker, and hopefully can also find the kill needed on this Juno. Did I find, again, the melee needed to kill Mr. Joker here. The fight's still happening on the objective. Filter trying to stay alive with the shout in tandem with the Mercy healing, but looks like it's going to be looking in favor of BGSU for the first time in 3.5 minutes, which is not horrible. This is definitely doable.
Yeah, you're gonna manage to take this next fight at mid, basically, and you just can't get picked off by JML early here. That's really the condition. You just cannot. That can't happen, right? Luckily, that was only onto your tank, but like you cannot get headshot by the tank.
Overclock ready for Fresh. There's nothing on Death Blossom's ults right in here. I think they all expanded it around the bridge on their own push-up phase. So lots of opportunity for him to kind of take it out. And Fresh finds the the railgun headshot needed to take care of JML in that close quarter range. Lamp defended super early on, help up only Omega fight to death against the rest of the fight here. And here comes Deadeye helping out as much as they possibly can, but the Rampage is so much value behind it. Here comes the Carnage and the cleanup right after the fact. Oh, we forgot about Widow. Don't forget. Stop, thank you. Oh my gosh. I got so scared for beef barbecue chicken.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
yeah.
okay.
Widowmaker is a tough character because you're constantly afraid of the angles that the Widowmaker is peeking, just like you were right there. There are going to be a few ultimates available, Annihilation and Pulse Bomb available for Death Blossom, and this Overclock's still online for Fresh as well as Valkyrie.
Oh. Well, no BAP, no Riot, and no Mortality Field, and Nax doesn't really have the Sound Barrier built up either here. So, looking a little bit worse for wear for the side of Death Blossom as the first checkpoint is about to be capped and reached by the Bowling Green Falcons. Annihilation also is in the back pocket for Oli Omega. I'm kind of expecting it to be used in the backline here, but I mean, Gracie coming in for the assist and gets the kill off of Oli Omega. This is looking like the whole different team here. Fresh warmed up, ready to lock back into the fight.
No, absolutely. Fresh getting that early pick onto Rye was just everything. If you can continue to just kind of steamroll just a single kill over and over again like that, that's really all you need. But right here, this Overclock probably needs to come out from Fresh pretty early.
Besides the way to the coastline, we have the Valkyrie ready. Palace also expended, and so is the the recall. Lots of lost cooldown for a Deadeye here. BBQ Chicken be the first one to go down, however, on that Juno. And run by one with the Annihilation in the back pocket and expended now. That is going to be Bowling Green going down. Death Blossom finally regaining their footing after a 0-78 meterage in favor of BGSU.
The plus side here for BGSU, you managed to get out the Annihilation and the Pulse Bomb, but I really think that was the fight. That was a fight you really needed to win. You could take the lead right there, and just nobody ulted other than Kiro Wolf for BGSU. Like, somebody's got to ult there. That can't happen either. That's tough.
That's not good. Fresh is down for the count. We have the Deadeye as well, and we only have one. We don't have Raz anymore because Kiro did go over to the Moira here. Maybe just to help put a lot more pressure on Deadeye and Nax. But JML on the Cassie was something I was not really putting into perspective.
It's been a long time since I've seen a 4K on Cassidy, other than last map. Forget about last map. Other than that, it's been a long time since I've seen that, but now 2 maps in a row I've seen 4Ks from Cassidy. BGSU needs to get you good on these here.
Ooh, Orbital Ray comes through against the Sound Barrier from Nax. Nax super low, and there it is. Partner coming in. We also have the window, which is completely negated by the bleed and anti of the Rampage. That's the response I'm looking for. And can we also find the pick on Nax here after we have the pull-in from the knife? Filter absolutely finds it. Deadeye, however, can be taking care of Kiro at the same time and Fresh. No worse for wear, but thankfully saved by the bell.
Ooh, that was close there for Fresh. You really didn't want to have to deal with that respawn. And Fresh still has this Overclock. They've had it for probably about like 4 fights now. I think you kind of just need to let it rip here, right? You're the only ult for your team. The only ult for their team right now is this Pulse Bomb, potentially an Annihilation. But if you can wipe somebody early with this Overclock, that would be absolutely huge for BGSU.
Absolutely. JML forced out position really early on, goes back towards their Pulse Bomb ready, looks over it, finds Fresh, and doesn't really find much without the ground. Again, Overclock is still in the back pocket for Fresh, has to get topped up by Kiro before approaching. And I mean, just a simple railgun to the head against Only Omega, who was not blocking, might just be enough. JML forced and running into the full power of Fiddle Turtle. Now it's just the backline kind of fighting for their lives alongside Deadeye. Is it going to be enough as they get pipped off? Oh, no, it's not. Oh, that knife goes real far. My boy Ra was all in the air. Or was flying.
I mean, I gotta be honest, Death Blossom doing a great job of just kind of stalling this point out. If everybody's gonna die anyways, you may as well stall the point for as long as you can. But now if you're Death Blossom, back up, reset, you got the Annihilation, and you have the Deadeye. You cannot let anybody die here, because then that's gonna give the other team, BGSU, a lot more push than you really need to give them. You only need to win 1 fight, right? That's it. You win 1 fight, you pretty much got this match secured.
Ooh, here comes the Coalescence, but from behind, unfortunately, Kiro was not able to help out Fresh against the power of Deadeye. Speaking of Deadeye, JML, their own Deadeye, actually, the actual Deadeye, coming through, finds 2 for their efforts. Deadeye, the character, the player, gets a melee off on Kira Wolf. They save the day somehow, even though they were kind of down one for a second. But the Deadeye getting 2 people with the ultimate, not the... Thanks, guys.
Well, plus side here, we're looking at another big ult dumpy type of fight because both teams got 4 ultimates. And, you know, really here, BGSU are the ones that have to make sure they use their ults incredibly smartly.
Oh! That's a rampage into someone who had a sound barrier at the ready. But now also that's everything except for window. Wait, huge. Might be huge for BGSU, but their goal has become a lot harder all of a sudden.
No, it's going to be incredibly difficult. You got to win, what, like probably 3 fights in a row if you want to take this map here. So you need to touch this as soon as possible as a BGSU. You can't let it get much farther than this or it becomes like super insurmountable.
Yeah, you're looking at 115% for the contest. Here comes the overall Ray coming through against the window. Poor Riot has a backup, can't even use it around for its full effect. Overclock coming in from Fresh. Gets 1 pick there, but we lose 3. That's massive. No, Mr. Joker, it might be clutch if we use it to die. And oh my god, the question does come through, but it gets shielded off. You get booped around. You're no longer innovative. You have to teleport to the advantage of this. You're down a cooldown. Now the rest of the team is trying to come back as fast as they possibly can. We go to the ball. You're able to touch the bot. Is it gonna be enough before we get booped off? And overtime counter just starts to go down faster and faster. Good cooldown management coming in from only a Mega. Cycling through the Nemesis form and the shield as best they possibly can. BGSU Falcons down their Kira Wolf, down their Moira. We have the immortality field in the random Nicholas had to save Nax's life to get the sound barrier off for his next engagement. That's what I'm talking about. That's huge. Big amount of overhealth coming in as the rest of the fight tickles down 2-0. It is Death Blossom taking a 3-0 victory against BGSU.
Oh, BGSU had their moments on this map too. There was a few times where I really think BGSU just needs to be a little bit more aggressive and proactive with their ult usage, and they could have definitely taken this map and as well for that matter.
This was huge. Wow. Fatal sort of was looking down the barrel of a gun, trying to get the kill off on JML, and it just wasn't happening anytime soon. But that's a-okay. The scoreboard may say 3-0, but we all know here it was way closer than what it says down below us. 3-0 victory, however, still goes towards Death Blossom, and we're going to a very quick break to hopefully get someone in here to yap with from Death Blossom. So don't go anywhere. Be right back. We're holding.
Water is the softest and most yielding substance, yet nothing is better than water for overcoming the hard and rigid, because nothing can compete with it. Lao Tzu.
Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave. Name straight, new wave.
And we're back, everybody, with an interview from the side of Death Blossom. It is the real Tool coming at us. Tool, how are we feeling? It was a wonderful 3-0 victory for the team. What's the team feeling? What's the vibes?
We feel great about the win. I'm a little disappointed in a couple things that we weren't doing properly, but overall, I'm happy with the 3-0.
All right, yeah, I mean, makes sense. Looked like a really strong performance overall. So, my first question is just gonna be, I mean, how do you feel about the bans, right? What do you think those brought to the game, and what did you feel about them overall?
Well, personally, I love hero bands. I've been a big supporter of it for a very long time. I think it adds different, like, unique niche to it. And as we get to be more comfortable with the teams, I think they could be even more utilized and better used properly.
Yeah, no, absolutely makes sense to me. Is there any particular team in this diamond tier that you're really just wanting to play against, or you think could be really stiff competition for you, or what are you feeling about that?
I don't think anybody's competition. I think we're gonna win the whole thing.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Death Blossom gonna win the tier playing Spider-Man, probably. I don't know.
Exactly, Spider-Man. We're gonna play Strange, Spider-Man, Venom. You know, all those guys in Overwatch.
Yeah.
Get me in that fight, Rocket. I got you. No, in all seriousness, I love the confidence. I love hearing that because I'm in this division, so I'll be happy to see you on the battlefield at some point. But, your final question to take is, head out, celebrate your victory as you so deserve. Who do you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast?
Well, to be honest, I just want to give a shout out to the team. I'm listed as a player, but I'm like more of a player coach type of thing. But I just want to give a shout out to them for the hard work they've been putting in over the last couple of months that we've been scrimming together. They've improved a lot, and we're gonna continue to get better. And like I said, we're gonna win this whole thing. So.
No, I am happy to see it. Happy that you guys got your W, and I'm excited to face against you guys at some point in this pool. So we'll be meeting again. Trust. But have a wonderful night. Tell the team we said congratulations from the production crew, and we'll see you guys next week in the next rounds of the Diamond tier.
You guys have a good night as well too.
Yeah, you
Have a
too.
wonderful day.
Best of luck to y'all.
You heard that? It's on. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. Stop. I'm just here for fun. I'm chill. But that was the 3-0 victory in favor of Death Blossom. They did absolutely fantastic. He was talking about they made some mistakes. I'm like, but we're in diamonds, so it's okay. We all make the mistakes. And I feel like they still did a good job of covering up their mistakes and making up for a lot of whatever they did do wrong. So kudos to everyone on Death Blossom. You all did absolutely amazing. Shadow Fang, any final words before we send it off?
No, I mean, congrats to Death Blossom, and I mean, if you're BGSU, just try and be a little bit more proactive with your ult usage and just timing of your fights, and this match could have easily gone in their direction as well, so don't feel too bad about the 3-0.
Yeah, it easily could have gone to a game 5. Easily. We might even have gone to the mysterious game 6. You know, you never
Yes.
know what could have happened. You know, but it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. This is only the first round. We're going to be seeing these guys and a whole lot others in the next coming weeks as we move on throughout season 15. We have NAEU and newly appointed South American region coming up on deck as well in CGL season 15, which is so cool that we're finally seeing some expansion happening in the regions alongside, you know, in the greater Overwatch scene, China also coming back here. So I'm really excited for the future. I'm excited to see some more of these guys come through. And there's more CGL coming up. There's a Diamond Division, there's a Master Division, there's an Open Division, there's a bunch of broadcasts happening, I believe, this weekend as well. So come back and tune in for those matches. But that is all we have for you guys today. Have a wonderful night. Shout outs to my production crew. Shout outs to my observers as always. Shout outs to you for yapping with me. And that's it. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Feel my heart, it's beat tight.